Okay, welcome to day 29. It is again much later in the day. My routine is completely out of whack, and that's okay. Today's card is this one. There's a little bit of like, not nervousness, but a little less certainty within myself after yesterday's video and then today, because I don't have the same time available to me to be in that like self-reflective mode. I'm much more like externally focused on what's going on around me, and so I don't have as much time, or I haven't yet been in a position to really like look and deal with like my internal experiences, and so I feel a little less like out of tune with myself or out of sorts with myself a little bit. But I know that that is a limitation, and I can at any moment, you know, like I said yesterday or a couple of videos ago, like I don't need to do certain things to attain a certain experience. I can just like be in a moment and like decide that, okay, I can see who I am and what's going on and how I can direct myself. You know, I don't need to do something in order to get something or to have an experience. So I don't need like to like sit down and be able to write for myself, or like alone time by myself to be able to be self-reflective. I can in a moment just make a decision to be clear and be here and be directive, you know. That's the goal anyway. Obviously we're all in process. I'm practicing that and learning and seeing where my limitations are and where I can strengthen and like expand within those limitations. So the card for today is cool, kind of similar. Yes, kind of similar to what I was just talking about. Unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. This is basically breaking the cycle, breaking the programming, breaking the generational like traits that have been passed on lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, and then belief systems, self-definitions that have been passed on that think I am this way, I need this in order to have this, or I need to do this in order to get this, or I need to be this way to have this experience. It's just like eradicating everything that we have come to believe is true, and to question everything and to figure it out for ourselves. It's like letting go of any ideas we've come to believe and just be willing to be open and figure and find it out for ourselves. That statement was coming up today for me. Investigate all things and keep what is good. And it's that point of being willing to look into anything and keeping what is good. And even that statement I was looking at, what does that mean to keep what is good? Because there implies there's no... I mean, what is good is objective to a degree. I feel like to a degree it is objective. What is good for me is maybe not good for another person. Although there are basic goodness, that there is basic points of consideration and like common sense that is the same for all of us. We all need food, water, shelter, education. We all need our basic survival needs met. That's good. We need to have all that. Investigate why we don't have all that, why not everyone gets that, and make sure everyone does get that, that equal starting point, that equal opportunity, that equal like survival is met. Your survival is guaranteed. You deserve that. From there though, the good, investigate all things, keep what is good, becomes more subjective to the individual. What is good for me is maybe not going to be good for another person. So that's kind of where I've been like exploring this point of what is true for me? What is real for me? What is it that I want to cultivate in my life? What is it that I'm passionate about? What is it that I want to like give direction to in my life? What is it that I want to harness and get to know and explore? You know, where are my interests? And that's the good stuff that I want to look into. And that is probably going to be different for a lot of people, or from a lot of people. So it's that point of like investigate all things, keep what is good. There are some basic fundamental things that need to happen for each individual across the board, for sure, for sure, for sure. Everything beyond that, though, becomes, you know, very personal. And so, yeah, it's just that point of like letting go of what you've thought of yourself, how you've defined yourself, how you've defined your life, letting go of these ideas that you have that is like, I am this way. I am this way because this is how I've always been, or this is how my family was, or this is, you know, I'm subject to this because of this. You know, it's like that point of like, it runs in the family, you know, like medical history stuff. It's like, it runs in the family. It's like, well, maybe, maybe not, you know. It's like, don't define yourself according to something that's been told to you matters, or that has an influence or has a role in your life. Maybe it doesn't. Investigate for yourself. Challenge the self-definitions and the ideas and the beliefs you hold about yourself. Consider, are these limitations? Am I limiting myself in terms of having this idea about me? Can I like move beyond this idea about me? Unbound. I like this. This is like fucking shedding some skin. This is like breaking the chains. This is like letting go of the fucking ball and chain. It's like unloading, you know. It's like taking the weight off, you know, not carrying the past, not carrying the weight of our fucking ancestral lines, you know. It's like everyone talks about like healing generational lines and, or like, you know, I don't know, it's like all this talk about generational stuff and our ancestors, and like, it's like, man, let the dead be dead, you know what I mean? Like, let's get back to living in real life, and like, who's here and what's what, and what are we doing here, and what do we want to do? It's like, let's quit holding on to like what was and how that's still influencing now. Like, it's just this point of like letting go of history, you know, letting history be history, letting the past be in the past, and like being fully present and completely open and new and unconditional to this moment, this fresh, brand new moment that has never existed before. You know, it's that point of being on the leading edge of time, like being at the furthest most point of existence, you know, is here in the present, in the physical, in this reality. I mean, as far as we know, as far as I know, that's the only, you know, awareness I have at the moment. And so it's like, man, what would happen if we let go of these like beliefs that have held down humanity for so long, you know, like racial division, or like ethnicity, like, you know, conflict, or like cultural like differences, like these things that we use to separate ourselves and to define ourselves as separate beings, or like separate people or groups of people, when like we're just one human race, right? We're one family, we're one species, you know? So it's like, what happens if we were to drop these beliefs that like you're one color and I'm this color and that makes us different, and just be like, oh yeah, our blood's red, our bones are white, you know, like we all have a heart and lungs and a stomach, you know, like we all internally, inside, what really matters beyond the surface, we are all the same. And what would happen if we like just started looking at that rather than holding on to these ideas that are from the past, you know? Man, that gets me a little jazzed, which is nice because I like feeling jazzed. It makes me feel alive. This is something I'm passionate about. I like talking about this stuff. I like challenging and questioning things, and inspiring and pushing and encouraging a difference and expansion and like change, because I know it's possible. I know it's really possible within us, because I've seen me change myself so much and release myself so much from my own bondage, and I'm just like, man, there is so much potential here for us if we could just like let go of this fucking, you know, the old ball and chains from our past. If we let go of the past, if we, you know, let go of the past. Releasing the soul patterns, man, that's the thing. Like, if there's a repeat scenario that plays out in your life, that's a pattern that probably you are not the first one in your family to live out, but you could be the last, you know? When I quit smoking, I was like I want to quit smoking because I don't want to pass this habit on to my child. And I made sure I did that, and I did that, and I had a baby, and smoking wasn't a part of my life at all. And I'm so grateful to be the one to have it end with me, you know? Like, we can stop the past from repeating itself in this generation. Like, we can do that. But each person's got to take responsibility for stopping it with themselves, you know? And I can only do that for me. So that's what I'll continue to do, and continue to walk my 44 days. Did I say this is day 29? Day 29. Leaving the 20s. Tomorrow we're in the 30s, and then smooth sailing home, I guess. Okay, thanks for walking with. See you tomorrow.